original animation for many of these new attractions. Like, let's start by talking about Peter Pan at Fantasy Springs.
Well, you know, we all love the classic Peter Pan attraction at Disneyland. We have the same at Tokyo Disneyland as well, where you fly over London. So the goal for our new attraction was to make you feel even more immersive, with more music, and feel like you're flying over London with Peter Pan. And so to achieve that, we worked with Disney Animation to create original 3D computer animation.
Yeah, you know, Peter Pan, the 1953 classic, is just some of the most appealing and charming animation ever done. And so the question was, how do we capture that hand-drawn charm in computer animation? And actually, we started to figure this out back on Soaring Around the World when Imagineer Tom Fitzgerald asked us to create a Tinkerbell farewell. We tried to really capture Mark Davis's hand-drawn design and animation style. So now, with this project, we got to expand on that and faithfully build the whole cast in 3D. We had a crew of almost, isn't that great? I love that. We had a crew of almost 100 people at Disney Animation working on the show, starting with modelers, customers, technical artists doing hair and plus simulation, and of course our incredibly smart and supportive production management team. And it was just so fun to get to play with these classic characters. You know, in the film, you know, there's this gorgeous world, but the truth is, when every background painting has details that disagree with other background paintings, even of the exact same object. So we had to resolve all those differences and build a 3D model that we sought to really capture the charm of the original painted backgrounds. So we had everything in Neverland and in London, including the Darlings' home. Hand-drawn film's costumes, the self-painted movie, right, have no texture. So we decided to keep our textures really simple. We're striving to make it feel like a physical, believable world, but still capturing the spirit of graphic simplicity in the movie. As Dan mentioned earlier, we couldn't have done this without Charlie Watanabe.
Yes, Charlie wrote all of the script for our attraction in Japanese, and he also directed the voice talent for Fantasy Springs. And as always with animation, we record the dialogue first, and then have the animators work with that.
I mean, Charlie is incredible. He's a great writer and director, but he's also our acting coach, who helps all of us who don't speak Japanese make sure our characters act and gesture naturally. Because when we dub our movies, we don't reanimate them. But animating directly in Japanese means that our Tokyo guests get to see our characters acting really for the first time as native Japanese speakers. Now here you see animation days at the studio, where animators gather to come together stylistically on all the characters. This was especially valuable because we were channeling that bouncy, loose style of the 1953 film, and that's so different than the naturalistic style of Frozen 2, which the animators had just rolled off of. So I particularly love this photo because years earlier, the animators collectively decided that the gigantic mural they wanted in their space for inspiration is Neverland. This TikTok scene is a great example of that bouncy style. And you can also see that we brought Mary Blair's beautiful background designs into 3 dimensions.
It was really important to be inspired by those Mary Blair designs, and we designed and built our full-size sets to blend seamlessly with the stereo animation from Animation Studios. And so once you're wearing your stereo glasses, you really cannot tell what is physically around you in the scene and what is in the media beyond.
And as we found on films going all the way back to Snow White, we created a color script to track the time of day throughout the experience. From the top, starting with a calm dusk that leads to a fiery sunset during the battle with Captain Hook, to a perfect night sky as we fly over London, and we arrive just in time for sunrise over Neverland. To be as faithful as possible to the original, we quoted specific animation from the film to inspire our animation. We got to watch this movie a lot.
So cool.
And so now we're going to play the final.
Yeah, and as you watch the final animation, the things that you aren't experiencing here in this room is that your ride vehicle has a motion base that is well synchronized with the camera, and you're watching it all in 3D.
You know, all of which took years of iteration to get right. And story-wise, we as guests are part of Peter's crew, recruited to help rescue John. So you'll see about 2/3 of the way through this, our flying boat, our ride vehicle, we bumped into a yellow-shirted pirate to knock him over.
I don't want to keep up.
here on stage.
Wow. Thanks for the face.
And yes, finally, we do get to fly with Peter Pan.
It was incredibly challenging, but incredibly rewarding to take these characters on a brand new adventure. And if you're wondering, the warping you see on the outside edge of the frame is because this animation was designed to be projected on enormous curved screens. So let's see. We created lots of original animation for Zootopia as well. You know, for our animators who worked on the movie, this was like spending time with old friends, and for the newer animators, it was like working with celebrities.
Throughout the attraction, we mix audio animatronic figures and animation. We really wanted to blur the lines between physical sets and digital, and we knew our chase story would require characters to move quickly through these scenes. This is where we leaned into integrating digital characters into dimensional environments. They aren't bolted to the floor like our audio animatronics. In this next video, we begin by passing Yax as an audio animatronics character before heading into the Rainforest District.
Yeah, as we approach the rainforest moment, the animation of Judy, Nick, and Gazelle in the gondola are combined with the show set in a multi-plane style to really fully integrate them into the scene.
And for our final big chase scene, we're racing after Bellwether, who still has Gazelle with her in her getaway vehicle.
You know, as with all animation, we start with storyboards to work out the action. Okay. We follow Flash into a wrong-way tunnel, spin 360 degrees around as Judy and Nick fly in to rescue Gazelle. Bellwether races off through the crowd outside Gazelle's performing arena until she smashes into a giant ice cream cone and flies through the air where Clawhauser makes the arrest as Gazelle arrives just in time to perform at the arena.
We built full-size mock-ups to understand and fine-tune these really fast scenes. We learned so much about what didn't work when spinning upside down and arriving at the helicopter rescue, as well as how to transition between these dimensional and physical worlds.
Here's the second half of that chase as Bellwether races through the crowd, represented by these blocks outside the arena. We first animated the central action of the camera, Bellwether, and the key animals she startles. To work this out, we made about 7 major versions of the camera and Bellwether path. Our team animated 58 new crowd behaviors, over 15 minutes of animation to populate the scene. In all, we animated 13 hero characters, 417 choreographed background characters, flying slushies, popcorn, ice cream, a helicopter, and 1 pig. There were going to be 2 flying pigs, but I know when to simplify. And Clawhauser still makes it in time for Gazelle's concert.
Very cool. So we just